What's going on, folks? Painless. Yeah, it's been a while, but life is good. Just been living life. Um, you know, got some. As many of you know, I'm trying to leave here where I'm currently at. Had some couple interviews. It's getting to the point to where it's getting to the time rather that I want to make that move. Got my money saved up, and hopefully I hope to be out of here by July, but I can leave earlier if I'd like. Just as far as my lease, things like that, I'll pay the extra money. I just have to pay an extra month's rent, which is no problem. I can do that. But yeah, I've had some interviews. As I always say, no news is good news. So I've had about 4 interviews, and I'm just waiting to hear back from those agencies, those companies, to see what's going on. But yeah, I've been living life. Life is good. Been in the gym, taking care of myself, getting out of that slump. Many of y'all know I'm good. I am great. But I wanted to talk about this, and since being single and all, I've been out. I've noticed a lot of things that I didn't notice before that I knew that were there, especially concerning, as being a black man, and how other groups, deal with this. Talking about with this Austin bombing and their refusal to label him as a terrorist. You have a lot of people from a certain spectrum claiming him to be a leftist and things like that, and him being somebody that isn't associated with their group. And as cliche or as mundane as this term is, concerning white supremacy or whatever, I try not to look at that. But I see a lot of things that can be associated with white supremacy. We have a president in that of Donald Trump who knowingly associates and commends and congratulates someone that has meddled in our election process. And I'm not saying our election process hasn't been compromised before, but any inkling of someone from a foreign government meddling in the affairs of the American political system, we have this president that congratulates a known conspirator within their own government, a dictator from another land. Now, as I said again, I don't like to use that word white supremacy because I'll use it when it's appropriate. One could say this is appropriate, but I just don't like throwing that term around because it tends to turn people off, because I want to get people to listen to my full message. But, when you have these situations in which Putin, this guy, he is I believe he's meddled or has full knowledge or had some play in our election process. And if this doesn't scream, and I'm going to use this word, white supremacy, I don't know what else is. I don't know if Putin has something on Trump before the president to pretty much slap him on the back and say congratulations again for being reelected. That says something. Now, people have said that Obama has done it. I'm not sure. I've never heard that. But for this president to be so vocal as he is on Twitter, social media, and to, vilify someone in that of Colin Kaepernick, NFL players, telling them to condoning people within the media, the news media, of sit down and play ball and, don't demonstrate, which is all right, but then shake hands and slap a known dictator. Not only a known dictator, but someone that, the evidence is coming out that he has meddled in our elections. And I believe, ex-FBI director Robert Mueller, he is peeling away, this investigation. He's really digging in the weeds. He's going to uncover this thing. Ex-FBI director Robert Mueller, who's heading the investigation in the Russian meddling of the last presidential election. He's digging in the weeds of this. And it's going to come a time, I believe it's right around the corner. But yeah, Trump, he's a hypocrite. He's a grandstander, and I can't put my full faith in someone like that. He's a joke to me. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And their refusal to label this Mark Condit character as a terrorist is troubling. It's troubling. But I want to move on to other things. Being black man in Hawaii, where I'm at, Hawaii is full of Hawaii. Now that I've been out and seen and been around, Hawaii is full of stunting, broke ass people on this island. I've always said that some people shouldn't have the internet. A lot of people over here in Hawaii love to stunt and play and play little games. And it's not just by female. These are males too. You have a lot of fuck boys, little fuck boy social media. It's crazy. You have a lot of poverty here, and it's made me look at, a lot of times we talk about poverty, especially amongst right-wing pundits. They love to talk about poverty amongst black folks. Everybody has black folks in their mouth, But you got a lot of poverty over here in Hawaii, and this is why I can't wait to get out of here. I've always wanted to leave Hawaii, even when I was married. And now, as I mentioned in other videos, that was a big reason why my wife and I split. And it's just one of those things to where it's time to go. It's expensive. It's crowded. You have a lot of petty crime here. You got a lot of coke heads and meth heads here. That's what you have here in Hawaii. Don't be fooled. Hawaii is someplace just to visit and get the fuck on. It really is. You have a lot of, I know a lot of local people and good people, but you have a lot of broke, jealous, angry people here in Hawaii that hate. Which brings me to, being a black male in Hawaii. I was in the gym today, and when you walk in the gym, and many of y'all know I've said this before in other videos, talking about especially Asian men. There's a lot of Asians over here, Asian Filipinos, which aren't very big, which aren't very intimidating looking and things of that nature. And I've said that when I go to the gym, I can always feel when someone's watching you, And and I catch these little, and I don't know if these guys are homosexual or they're just jealous or in awe, but I always catch a little Asian, kind of watching me, you know, I, and the watch, and when you look at them, they look away. And me, I'm 6'2", about 228 pounds, nice build. I keep myself up. I'm almost 40 years old. And I look, I look, and not to sound like a male, trying to, show off, but I look a lot better than a lot of these young guys out here. Especially, a lot of these guys here are overweight and stubby, and I've heard a lot of women that I know as friends, and they tell me that they're not very, they don't really look at their husbands sexually in a good light, because the culture in Hawaii is to be married, have kids, and they. I see a lot of beautiful women here with guys that, and I'm not hating or anything like that. A lot of guys that I know they're not putting it down in the bedroom. I know for a fact they're not putting it down in the bedroom. But a lot of these women in Hawaii, they settle for these guys. Um, but yeah, I've had on several occasions women that are born and raised here, that their sex life is not existing. And I talk to these women like this now because I'm not married, I'm single. But they really confide in me. And a lot of these women over here look for black dick, and they look for a dick outside of their marriage. And it's, I don't touch that because I don't believe in that. But it's crazy. It's crazy. A lot of these women here are, a lot of these guys. But anyway, back to the gym story. Yeah. And then what's so funny, a brother that came in, black guy came in, I was in because I did my cardio a little bit, then I went into the weight room. And I was in there for about 15 minutes. And then another black guy came in who was bigger than me. I saw him working out, and, I kind of nod, hey, what's going on? And I saw the Asian guy cutting his eyes over at him. So I knew it wasn't just me. This guy, I don't know if, I can sense, because I have a good knack for this, that he was, to me it seemed like, wow, or what's he doing? I mean, because there were white guys in the gym. He wasn't looking at the white guys. He was looking at myself and this other brother that came into the gym. And I know what that is. And I've said this, that you have a lot of men that are not only white men. In fact, I find, being in Hawaii, that I have more common with white guys, because the local mentality over here is it's weird. And I'm almost running out of time on this video, but I say all that to say that, black men don't, just because a guy's not white doesn't mean he's your friend. And I know that's the mantra, when we talk about race and things like that, black and brown, and not all these minorities have our best interests. I mean, I wouldn't say best interests, because they shouldn't have our best interests, but not all of them are brothers and comrades. And there's a lot of hate. I've talked about how years ago, where I used to, when I first got out the military and I scrounge around getting little jobs, I've had guys tell me over here, yeah, my God, my girlfriend left me for a black guy. And then I got to thinking to myself, what was the significance of you telling me that? Like, what do you think my response should be? And there's a lot of envy towards black men here. there's a lot of envy towards black men here in Hawaii because they see it in me. I got my own place, I got my own job, I got money, and like it goes back to what I said. A lot of these dudes over here are riding around on mopeds and smoking meth and digging in their ass and fucking around and living with their mama and daddy and into gaming and little fast and furious fuck boy cars and shit like that. While I'm out here slinging dick into the girl of their dreams. And I'm not out here like that. But you have a lot of that out here. And I can see it in their eyes. And I can feel it. I can sense it. And it's not being cocky or anything like that. And I've said, black men, we just can't be. We can't just chill. It's always something said either, it's a guy I work with. He came in, he's like he's one of the little stubby local guys here that I talk about, always simping, singing for females and trying to be the funniest guy in the room. And he came over to me and said, "Hey, Painless," and he slapped me on my shoulder. He said, "Oh," and then after that, he said, "Damn, well, I slapped him on the shoulder." It was me and this other Puerto Rican girl. And we were all three of us, and he was like, "Yeah, I slapped Painless on the shoulder, and my hand almost came back. I was kind of jealous." And when I heard that, I knew right then. And he's the type of guy that's always saying, "Hey man, you're so buff," and da da da, and I'm just standing there. I can't help. I have an erect posture, and he's like, "Yeah, when I stand, my shoulders slump and all this shit." And and in my head, I'm thinking, you this typical toddler dick motherfucker that low key hates, but tries to talk to me at the same time. What little comments, And I'm like, man, you got to get in the gym, man. Look presentable. And he's one of those guys, always has something to say, like a female. You got a lot of that fuckboy shit over here, a lot of argumentative, trying to sound smart guys over here. See, I let my presence do my talking for me. And you got a lot of that going on here. I'm going to make a part two. No, scratch that. I'm not making a part two. About to eat. This came from the gym. But, yeah, it's, be careful out there as black men. And anybody, any man, no matter what ethnic group, when you carry yourself a certain way, you're going to have male haters and female haters. Because you got a lot of broke women. I can speak here in Hawaii. You got a lot of broke women out here that because of their mentality, they're not going to speak to you. But they hate that you don't speak to them. You're not trying to get at them. And they hate you because you're successful and you're doing it up in their own island where they can't do it. And it's crazy. But that's all I got to say. Painless out.